All right, welcome. Today we're going to dive into something really special, a collection of poems and stories called Floating to 42. Now, this isn't just a book we're going to flip through. Think of it more as an invitation, a look inside one person's search for meaning. It's a personal, philosophical journey, and we're going to take it together, one idea at a time.
So this is our starting point. This line comes right from the author's foreword, and wow, is it raw. It's a feeling I think we can all connect with, right? That moment when life just feels shattered, like you're trying to find all the missing pieces. This feeling of being despondent, that's ground zero for this whole journey.
And then, just when things feel completely broken, something happens. But it's not some grand dramatic event. It's a simple gift from a young student, a little paper figure that the author calls the paper boy. And this small, unexpected thing, it helps him finish a piece of art, and that one little act sparks the whole process of putting his life back together.
Okay, so how do you even start piecing things back together? Well, it all begins here, by looking at the world through the eyes of an artist. This first part of the anthology, it isn't really about finding answers. It's about learning to see again, to see the world through poetry and color, and just catching those little fleeting moments of inspiration.
I absolutely love this. The author just breaks down the walls between these two art forms. It's not one or the other. They're basically reflections of each other. A painting? That's just poetry with colors. And poetry? Well, that's a painting with words. It's all about capturing a feeling, whatever tool you use.
And this quote just perfectly nails the creative process. It's not some gentle thing that taps you on the shoulder. It's a force of nature, powerful and urgent. Inspiration is not going to wait for you. You have to be right there, ready to step into that wave before it pulls back out to sea.
So all this artistic observation leads to this just a stunningly simple idea of what our purpose is. Forget all the complicated philosophy for a second. Life is just the space between 2 points, birth and death. Our purpose? It's on us. We're the ones who have to give that space, that journey, its meaning.
So with that foundation set, the journey starts to get deeper. We're shifting gears now, from just observing the world like an artist to a real philosophical quest. We're moving from how we see the world to what it is we're actually looking for. And that thing is wisdom.
The author draws this really sharp line between two things we mix up all the time. Intelligence, he says, is all about collecting facts, holding on, and arguing. It is a closed mind because it thinks it already has the answers. But wisdom is the opposite. It's about letting go, being open, and finding settlements, not arguments. It knows there's always more to learn.
And that idea gets pushed even further here. Think about it. A teacher gives you answers. They help you find your way through a maze that already exists. But a guru, that's a whole different ballgame. A guru doesn't give you answers. They question the answers you think you have. They don't help you get out of the maze. They completely destroy the maze itself.
So this search for a different kind of understanding leads our author to this amazing character called the Unguru. He's a wise man who doesn't give lectures, he teaches with simple gestures. And of course, the first question for him is the one we all want to know.
And the answer isn't an answer at all, is it? It's an experience. The Unguru doesn't explain what happiness is. He just points. Happiness is like a sunset. It's beautiful, it's right here in the moment, and it's temporary. You don't analyze it, you just witness it.
Okay, so the next question gets even bigger. We're moving from a feeling, happiness, to the nature of existence itself. What is this whole thing about, anyway? And once again, the answer is just a quiet observation. Life is like floating clouds. It's constantly changing shape. And there it is, right? The title of the book. Life isn't some solid, fixed thing. It's fluid, it's always changing, and we're just floating right along with it.
So if life is about floating and wisdom is about letting go, how on earth do we actually do that? Well, this next section gets right to the heart of it with two really powerful stories.
The first story is called The Spider and the Butterfly, and it's fascinating. A butterfly is trapped in a spider's web, but it tells the spider a secret. Butterflies used to be caterpillars, stuck to the ground. They only learned to fly when the very first one, the butterfly, discovered the secret. And that secret was simple. You have to let go of the web you think is your reality.
And here's the paradox, the part that's a total game changer. The spider thinks it needs to figure out how to fly before it can let go of its web. But the butterfly says, no, you've got it backwards. Letting go isn't something you do after you're free. Letting go is what makes you free.
This whole theme of letting go is hammered home in another story about a man who desperately wants to cross a river to find peace on the other side. But the boatman tells him the boat is too fragile. He can't bring any baggage.
So this guy spends years getting rid of everything. All his possessions, his responsibilities. He comes back to the river with literally nothing, and the boatman still says he's carrying too much. So what gives? What could this invisible final burden possibly be?
And the answer is just profound. The heaviest baggage he was carrying was his own identity, his pride, his accomplishments, his idea of who he was. It was his ego. It's only when he finally surrenders everything, even his sense of self, that he's light enough to cross.
So, let's bring this all together. After looking at art, asking these huge questions, and learning about surrender, where does this journey actually lead? What's the final answer?
This might be the biggest insight in the entire collection. The answer isn't a final destination, it's an opening. The purpose of life isn't some riddle you solve, it's an infinite possibility you get to live. You're not a conclusion, you're a starting point.
And this brings us to the wild ending of that river story. After the man surrenders his ego, the boatman takes him across, but when he looks back, he's right where he started. The river is gone, the boatman is gone. All that's left is a milestone with the number 42 on it, and a little note that the paper boy saw it all. The whole journey. It was internal.
So maybe this is the final realization. The point isn't to steer the boat or even to know where you're going. The point is to become the paper boat itself, light, unburdened, and just trusting the river of life to take you where you need to be. To just embrace floating.
And so, we're going to end it there. Not with an easy answer, but with a question. For you, that number, 42, it's famous for being the answer to life, the universe, and everything, right? But here, it's just a mysterious milestone, not a solution. So the book invites you to find your own meaning. What does that milestone look like for you?